In someone's mind right now, someone you have shown up for, given your loyalty, your best. You are just a comfortable guarantee, and guarantees are never feared to lose. You are replaceable right now, in someone's mind, someone you have shown up for, someone you have given your time, your loyalty, your best. You are an option, not a priority, not something they lie awake thinking about keeping, just a comfortable guarantee. And guarantees are never feared to lose. Think about that. The people in your life, your workplace, your friendships, your relationships, when did any of them last feel the cold possibility of losing you? When did any of them last adjust their behavior? Not because you asked, but because something shifted. Because for one moment, the certainty that you would always be there flickered. And in that flicker, they suddenly remembered your worth. That feeling, that sudden gut-level fear of potential loss, is the most powerful motivator in human psychology, more powerful than love, more powerful than loyalty, more powerful than any promise ever spoken. And right now, nobody in your life feels it about you. You have been too available, too consistent, too easy to keep without effort. And every single day that continues, your perceived value quietly drops. Not because you are worth less, because you have been acting like you are. Here is what nobody tells you. The system built you this way on purpose. School rewarded compliance. Family called endless availability love. Society told you a good man is dependable, constant, always there. And all of that programming turned you into something psychologically predictable, something safe to ignore. Something nobody fears losing, because losing you feels impossible. You were never supposed to find the other set of rules, the ones the most respected, most pursued, most genuinely valued men actually operate by. But today that changes. There was a man who wrote those rules down with cold, surgical precision. Niccolò Machiavelli, diplomat, strategist, a man who studied power without sentiment and reported exactly what he found. He was exiled for it, condemned for centuries as dangerous, because he told the truth about how human value and influence actually work, not how we wish they worked. He understood the psychology of loss at its deepest level. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Beneath those words is a precise truth. Perception is the entire game. The man who controls how others perceive him controls how they value him. And the man who makes others genuinely uncertain about what they would lose, he controls everything. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. You are not learning this to punish people. You are learning this because you are exhausted from being the one who gives more, cares more, and receives less. And you deserve to understand exactly why that pattern keeps repeating. The first principle, your unlimited availability has destroyed your value. Scarcity creates desire. This is not philosophy. It is basic human wiring. We chase what moves. We ignore what stays still. You have been flooding every relationship with your presence, answering immediately, always adjusting, always accommodating, and sending one continuous signal. I have nothing more important than this. Always available is never valued. Think about the person at work who says yes to every request, who is there for every favor, who pushes back on nothing. Are they respected, or are they quietly exploited, given more precisely because they have shown zero resistance? Now think about the person who guards their time, who makes you feel that getting their attention is an event. They get treated entirely differently, not because they work harder, because they made their presence feel rare. Start being genuinely unavailable sometimes. Let calls go unanswered for hours. Decline plans without elaborate explanation. Be completely present when you are present and completely elsewhere when you are not. That contrast will teach people more about your value than any conversation ever could. Drop this in the comments. The moment I became hard to reach was the moment people started trying harder to keep me. The second principle, mystery is not deception. It is the deliberate management of what you reveal. Most men expose everything, every plan, every fear, every ambition, narrated in real time to people who have not earned that access. And in doing so, they remove all tension. They make themselves completely readable, completely resistible. The people who fascinate us are never the ones we have fully figured out. They are the ones who still hold something back, who reveal themselves slowly, in layers, so that every new piece of information feels like a discovery. Start asking, before you share something, whether this person has earned it, whether silence might create more than speech. The man whose words are rare makes every word count. Drop this in the comments. I became interesting the day I stopped explaining myself to everyone. The third principle: enforce your standards through action, never through argument. Most men lose everything here. They feel disrespected, they give a speech, the other person nods, agrees, and repeats the same behavior in 3 weeks, because words without consequences are not standards, they are requests. The man who is genuinely feared to lose does not negotiate his standards verbally. He demonstrates them through behavior. When someone crosses a line, he does not make a scene. He quietly withdraws. His availability decreases. His investment pulls back. His warmth cools, not dramatically, just noticeably. And in that quiet adjustment, the other person learns something permanent. There is a real cost to treating this man poorly. That cost, that lived experience of his withdrawal, is what creates genuine fear. Define your non-negotiables, and the next time one is crossed, respond with action. Every time, without drama, without exceptions. Drop this in the comments. I stopped explaining what I would not tolerate. I just stopped tolerating it. The fourth principle: always leave while you are still wanted, never stay until you are endured. The most captivating people you have ever met and conversations, while energy is still high. They leave rooms when they are still being enjoyed. They wrap up calls when the conversation is still good. And the result is always the same. The person left behind is not relieved. They are wanting more. They are thinking about the next time. Most men stay too long in conversations, in relationships, in rooms where their presence stopped being valued hours ago, and by staying past welcome, they transform from a guest into furniture. End things at the peak. Leave while people still want you there. The slight hunger you create is not cruelty. It is the most powerful invitation you can offer. Drop this in the comments. I started leaving first. Now people always want me to stay longer. The fifth principle: build a life so genuinely full that your scarcity is not performance, but reality. Everything else in this script collapses if you are faking busyness while secretly waiting. People sense the difference between a man performing unavailability and a man who is actually invested in his own life. The performance feels like rejection. The real thing feels like gravity. So the actual work, the work that makes all of this sustainable, is becoming someone genuinely worth keeping. Invest in your craft, your body, your mind. Build something that makes you excited to wake up, because the man on fire about his own life has no time to orbit other people, and that, more than any tactic, is what makes others orbit him. The sixth principle: let your results speak so loudly that you never have to announce yourself. The man who tells you how hard he is working needs your validation. The man who shows you the results, quietly without caption, is the man whose competence cannot be ignored. There is a specific fear that comes from watching someone become something remarkable. Watching them grow quietly into a version of themselves you could not have predicted. Watching them accumulate options, skills, confidence, without narrating it. That fear whispers to everyone in their life: if I do not hold on now, I will not be able to reach them later. I will have missed my window. Build in silence. Let the gap between who you were and who you are becoming grow wide enough that people feel urgency, real urgency, the kind that makes them act. Now feel what all of this adds up to. Not tactics, not games, a fundamental reconstruction of how you move through the world. From a man who is relieved when people stay, to a man whose departure people genuinely dread, from a man who adjusts himself to fit into other people's lives, to a man whose presence in someone's life feels like a privilege they know they could lose. The version of you that existed before this, the one who flooded every relationship with availability, who narrated his entire inner world to people who had not earned it, who enforced standards with speeches instead of silence, he is gone. The old you is dead, not mourned, released, because he brought you here, and here is where everything changes. What stands now is different, deliberately scarce, genuinely full, enforcing standards without drama, building in silence, moving through the world with the quiet confidence of a man who knows, not believes, knows what he brings. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future, not scattered across other people's priorities, not diluted by the hunger for their approval, focused entirely on becoming something that cannot be ignored and cannot be easily replaced. You belong to no one, not to their comfort with your predictability, not to